Now, Jim Rogers needs little introduction. He's the man behind the Quantum Fund, one that saw a gain of 4,200% in 10 years, the successful hedge funds of all time. Jim is an investing legend, best-selling author, and a Guinness World Record holder. So when he speaks, smart investors listen. So we're here to listen to him this morning. Live in the studio with me is Mr. Jim Rogers. Jim, very welcome to you.
I am delighted to be here, but we don't need all that introduction.
Now, if I remember correctly, you were one of the very first in the world, and you told me this in person in your home in Singapore, that to pinpoint North Korea as a very attractive investment destination. Now, that was more than 4 years ago.
Yep.
Denuclearization talks have not been going so successfully, and business opportunities and investment opportunities. Now, do they look as hopeful and optimistic for you? How are you coping with this situation?
Well, first of all, I'm an American, so I'm not allowed to invest in North Korea, so I'm coping the same way I always have. But it's continuing to happen. They're continuing to open up more and more. China wants it, Russia wants it, North Korea wants it, South. It's going to happen. There will be bumps along the way. Japan doesn't want it because Japan doesn't want to have to compete with an open Korea because they know they cannot. Everybody wants it. It's going to happen. Don't worry. But at the moment, there's nothing I can do except watch because I'm a citizen of the land of the free. And in the land of the free, we're not very free.
Now, what are some key opportunities that you see in North Korea?
Well, once it opens, everything. I mean, Konyang, they don't have anything. They don't have ties. They don't have chairs. They don't, they don't have electricity. So anything you can do, you can go there and make a fortune. Tourism is going to be a fabulous opportunity for everybody. The Korean Peninsula has not been on the world tourism map ever. It will be again, and everybody will want to come and they will see the sights, the beaches, the temples, the food. I don't like the food, but a lot of people like the food.
I love the food, but...
I know you love the food. You're Korean. I love fried silkworms. Fried silkworms are one of my favorite food in the whole world.
All right. Now, you recently raised a red flag for the Japanese economy. You offloaded all your Japanese shares. Now, why is that? How do you foresee this trade flare between South Korea and Japan impacting the economies?
First of all, I see it as total absurdity. What is Korea and Japan doing? You're supposed to be working together to get yourselves all prosperous and happy and rich. I cannot understand it, but I'm not Korean and I'm not Japan, so you don't have to listen to me. It certainly is causing things to slow down. Things are slowing down in the world. That just exacerbates the problem here in the Northeast Asia.
So why have you offloaded all your shares?
Well, they went up a whole lot. I owned them for several years. They've gone up a whole lot, but it's coming to the end. You know, you can only print so much money. You can only waste so much money spending money trying to buy shares and buy bonds. So I sold. I mean, Japan has some serious problems. I just published a book in Japan. They got serious problems coming up. In my book, I say that Japan is peaking and declining, and Korea is on the rise. I think that's why I did so well.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah?
You know, the Japanese don't like the Koreans don't like the Japanese. You're crazy, both of you.
Well, now, Jim, so you said that Korea is on the rise. How hopeful are you about the South Korean economy or the economy of the Korean Peninsula? Because, amid the global economic downturn, South Korea's economy has been slowing as well.
At the moment, South Korea is having a problem. Everybody is, because trade wars. There are many, many reasons that the world is starting to slow down, and we're going to have a very, very serious problem in the next year or two. But once the 38th parallel opens, this is going to be the most... Hanbando, you know Hanbando?
The Korean Peninsula.
Yes, Hanbando is going to be the most exciting part of the world for the next 10 or 20 years. You have everything going for you once the 38th parallel opens. In the meantime, things are not going to be so good.
Well, I guess $1 billion question is, when is it going to open up? The 30th
You should watch
parallel.
Arirang TV. You're asking me? I know everything I know I'll get from Arirang TV, for goodness sakes.
Absolutely. Now, you not only understand, but really you can read between the boom and the bust of the global business cycle. Amid the escalating trade tensions, what should we be bracing for in the next couple of months? I mean, what should we be on the lookout for?
Well, you're going to start seeing bankruptcies. You're even going to see bankruptcies in China, which is going to shock a lot of people, including me. And I just told you it's coming, but there's a lot of debt. 2008, we had a big problem because of too much debt. Since then, my gosh, you know, the debt has skyrocketed everywhere, and so we're going to start seeing bankruptcies and interest rates rise. We're going to see collapse. It's not going to be fun. You should be very worried.
I should be worried.
Yes.
But China is somewhere that you've bet highly on.
Oh, yeah, no, I moved to Asia because of China. My children speak Mandarin because of China. No. It's
and
got
they're
a great
fluent
future.
in it, I know.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean China won't have problems. America became the most successful country in the 20th century, but along the way we had 15 depressions, we had a horrible civil war, we had no human rights, massacres in the streets, but still we became extremely exciting and prosperous. China will have problems, don't worry, they're coming.
Now, what are 2 or 3 things that make you take notice of an investment opportunity? I mean, anything from valuations, underperformance, or bad headlines? Like, how do you take notice?
Bad headlines, one thing, disasters. I used to just read the disaster and say, oh my gosh, that's horrible. But now, you know, the Chinese, and I know you have a word, in Japan there's a word kiki, which means disaster and opportunity are the same. In Chinese, it's weiji. I don't know what the word in Korea is. It means a disaster and opportunity. You know, you've been around a lot longer than we have. We don't have the word in English. So when I see a disaster, now I learn to say, okay, this is horrible and terrible, but there's an opportunity here somewhere. So that's one of the first places when I see on Arirang TV, I see everything falling apart. Then I start to say, okay, what do I do next?
So with disaster comes an opportunity.
Always. The Asians learned that centuries ago, and that's why you all have words for it. We don't have that word in English.
Now, to a legendary investor like yourself, what market sectors of technology are you right now jump out at you right now? I mean,
well,
where have you been making investments lately?
Agriculture, Russia's hated, Russia's cheap, agriculture's hated, agriculture's been declined for a long, remember, how'd you say the word? I said weiji.
Wiki.
Wigi?
Yeah, in Korean, yeah.
Wigi. Remember Wigi. When there's a disaster, there's an opportunity. So remember Wigi. Learn about Korean tourism because it's going to be a gigantic business in the next few years. All of Asian tourism, because now the Chinese can travel. They can get passports easily. They can take money out of the country. No, Asian tourism, especially Korean tourism. You're at the right place.
Aren't you also investing in graphene these days?
Yes. No, I mean, I have interest in a Korean graphene company. Graphene, according to the scientists, is going to be as big as the internet. I mean, it's astonishing what the scientists say. Not me, I'm not a scientist. But I have investments in Korean graphene companies. Korea is one of the leaders in the world for this new science. And by the way, North Korea has graphite mines. South Korea has the technology and the ability. So what's the 38th parallel? There are going to be many opportunities in Hanbando.
So you see opportunity there as well?
Of course,
cooperation there, or doing projects there even?
Yes. But you have to find the right company. I hope I found the right companies, but who knows?
Now, so finally, now this one is for all the aspiring to be Jim Rogers out there. When you launched your quantum fund in the 1970s, obviously the world was a completely different one. You didn't have the search engines or the research internets or whatnot for the assets and the buying assets that we do right now. But if you were starting out in today's world, would you start out with a hedge fund? I mean, what kind of advice do you have for all the 20-somethings?
My advice is to do what you love, whatever it is. The financial world is not going to be a great place in the next 10 or 20 years. It's going to be one of the worst places. If you want to go where the action is, learn to drive a tractor. Farming is going to be great in the next 20 years in the world. But if you don't like farming, don't go in. You go to a hedge fund. I'm telling you, hedge funds and finance is going to be in decline. But if you when I went, it was in decline. But I loved it, so I went. So do what you love. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to the TV. Don't listen to your teachers. Don't listen to your parents. Do what you love.
Listen to your heart.
Listen to your soul, yes.
Well, Jim Rogers, an investment legend, Indiana Jones of finance, best-selling author. There are many ways to explain you, but for me, it's one of my favorite interviewees. Many thanks to you for coming under the studio at such an early hour and for your insights today.
And Miss Moon, I love to come to Arirang and be with you.
Thank you.